Assalamualaikum everyone. Today I'll be making a warp for the weaving that I'm gonna teach you in this video. Okay, so basically I'm using a macrame cord of 2 mm. Okay, as you can see, it's very thin, but it's very strong. So it is very good for a warp. You can also use a cotton balls. Also, there are a few ones, I can list them down below for you. So basically, I'm gonna start a warp lengthwise. So what I'm gonna do exactly is, first I need to mark till where I want to go. This is the mark I made. Okay, so next I'm gonna make a knot. Okay, it's simple as slip knot. Simple. Take it up down below. Okay, now just to make it more secure, I'm gonna do is make it a double knot. Okay, now you need this warp to be very, very strong and very, very tight. Okay, so try to be as tight as possible. Okay, where's my knot? It looks too thick, but don't worry. Oh, sorry. So now basically all I'm gonna do is wrap it. Okay. Like so. You can pull it down easily. It doesn't fit. Equal distance. Okay, look. If I press it down, these are at equal distance, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay, make sure it's very tight. You have to grab the frame as well sometimes because it needs to be very, very tight. Okay, I'm gonna repeat the same process, so see you in a time lapse. Okay.
Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Say what you wanna say to me now.
The required amount of warp, I chose the white color because I wanted to show. You can use any color of warp you want, and if it feels a little bit uneven, all you need to do is push it down. You can use a scale or something. I'm just using my nails because that's easy for me. The reason I'm holding this because I haven't secured it yet with the last nail that I want. So what I'm gonna do is cut till here. Sorry about that. Make that same knot. Okay. I secured it with a knot. If you can see, it's a very tight knot. Even the last loop is not loose. Look at this. This is very tight. And it's supposed to be this tight. You can make the warp with wool. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm putting my scale on the scale of 1 under and 1 over. What this is gonna do is this is gonna help me create a shed for the first line that I'm gonna take from the right side. Now here I'm taking the left side, basically 1 under, 1 over, the same process. Okay, always remember, don't pull too hard on the left thread. So now what I'm doing is I'm putting a piece of cardboard which is gonna help me have a volume. Okay, so now that I've taken 4 to 7 lines of plain weave, now what I'm gonna do is create a tassel. I cut about arm length of yarn, and it doesn't need to be equal at the end. Okay, so basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you what to do. And take 2 strands of the warp, put it over them, and take one side of the yarn that you've cut out and take it from the right side and pull it out towards the center like this. Make sure you pull out all strands. I took 3 yarns, so it's gonna be a heavy tassel. So from the left side, you're gonna do the same process. Go under the warp and pull it out from the center of those 2 warp threads. And to tighten it, you can pull it upwards and then bring it back down. So that's basically it. Now I'm gonna create multiple tassels all the way around to the right side. So here you're looking at how I'm tightening the tassel a little bit more because I wasn't happy on how loose it looked. I'm gonna do it all the way around, but let me show you one more time. So basically, pull 2 warp yarns, take the right side of the cut out yarn that you have and take it under and pull it towards the center like so. Do the same with the left side of the yarn. Take it under the warp thread and pull it out from the center of the warp yarn. Like this. To tighten it, pull it upwards and bring it back down. Like this. Sometimes you need to hold the frame. So basically I made all the tassels off camera and now I'm making a few lines to secure the tassels, and that's basically what I'm doing. And I've made my rough sketch on how I'm going to leave this tapestry design on my thread with a marker. It's not going to show after, so don't worry about it. In order to start a new thread, you don't even have to worry about how to attach the previous thread with the new one. I'm basically just making my design in the simplest way. I just start my thread on the left side and basically left a little bit of tail that I'm going to secure at the very end of my project. So basically I'm just doing the same thing, one over, one under, but just following my design on where it's supposed to go. So my camera decided that it's not going to record. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm making variations. I use the paintbrush, the back side of the paintbrush. What I'm doing is I put the paintbrush and I'm just looping around the paintbrush. I'm taking a strand underneath, pulling it out and going under that long strand once again and pulling it towards myself, and it's gonna create a loop. Same thing on the top side of the paintbrush. I'm basically gonna take my needle underneath a warp thread and pull it towards myself. It's gonna create that loop. So I'm gonna follow this pattern, and do not pull out the brush right after you're done with it. You need to secure that loops, and how you're gonna do that is you're gonna create 1 or 2 lines on top, or you could say above the paintbrush, so it will secure the loops. Here I'm done with the looping, so I'm creating about 1, 2, 3 on top, and then I pull out my brush, and then I'm continuing with my design, 1 over and 1 under. Now I'm gonna create another variation. It's braided. It's gonna look braided. So basically what I'm doing is I'm putting the thread on top of my warp, going underneath the warp and pulling it towards myself. Let me show you again. Put the thread, the extra thread on top, and pull the needle underneath the warp thread towards the left side. The needle's head is gonna be pointed towards the bottom side. Once one side is done, we're gonna start with the other side. How we're gonna do is we're gonna do the same process. Put the thread upside and pull the needle towards the downside, and it's gonna create a double knot, which is gonna look like a braid at the end. You can see the braid already forming there.
As a word that sometimes you
Start from here.
In this one, I'm gonna use a specific pattern. I'm gonna put it on the screen. It's basically one under, one over, two under, one over, two under, one over, and one under from the first line. And then one under, one over, two under, three over, two under, one over, one under. For the second line, third line would be two under, five over, two under. Fourth line, 2 under, 7 over, 2 under. Fifth line, 2 under, 5 over, 2 under. Sixth line would be the same as the second line. 1 under, 1 over, 2 under, 3 over, 2 under, 1 over, 1 under. And the last line would be the same as the first line. 1 over, 1 under, 2 over, 1 under, 2 over, 1 under, 1 over. It's gonna look something like this after it's done. I used the white for the... So to make these vertical braids, I'm gonna open up my white strand like this, and I'm gonna pull both of these black strands from the center towards the left side, and then I'm gonna go over and pull it from the right side towards the center like this, and then I'm gonna open my black strand and do the same process with the right strand. Contrast. So now I'm basically doing the same 1 under 1 over lines to finish my tapestry. So now, since my weaving is done, I'm gonna take this off the frame. What I'm gonna do is cut the loop on top and do a square knot. Basically, a square knot is the simplest knot of all. Right over left and left over right. You just cut the yarn, cut the warp thread that is left hanging on the top, and then you do a square knot basically. So I'm sorry you can't see Okay, so basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip this over,